Ada was the first daughter of her parents. They trained her well and she grew up as a good, respectful girl. She wasn't ugly. In fact, she was fine in her own way, with kind eyes and a warm smile. But deep inside her heart, Ada always felt invisible. Her best friend, Mmasinachi, was different. Mmasinachi's name meant beauty from God, and truly, her beauty looked like something heaven made by hand. Her skin shone like ripe palm fruit under the sun. Her eyes were round and bright. When she smiled, it felt like morning light entering a dark room. Wherever they went together, people would turn and say, "Ah, Mmasinachi, you are too beautiful. God took his time on you." Some even prayed aloud, "God, please, give me this kind of daughter." Rich young men came to Ma's house with gifts, gold earrings, wrappers, perfumes, and food, all begging for her hand in marriage. But Ma was humble. She never let it get to her head. "I am not ready for marriage yet," she would say. "Let me help my parents first." Her calmness made people love her even more. Ada would smile outside, but inside her heart, she cried. One evening at the market, a woman called from her shop, "Mmasinachi, you are the morning star of our village." Ada stood right beside her, carrying the heavy basket, and no one even noticed her. That night, Ada sat alone under the moon, whispering to herself, "Why her? Why not me? Am I not a woman too?" The seed of jealousy had been planted, and it was beginning to grow roots in her heart. Weeks passed, and Ada's jealousy grew stronger. She tried to fight it. When dark thoughts came, she would remember her mother's words, "Beauty fades, but a good heart lasts forever." She would kneel and pray, asking God to remove the bitterness from her soul. But every time she saw Umma receive praise, the jealousy returned, stronger than before. One Sunday after church, Emma pulled Ada aside with worry in her eyes. "Ada, you've been avoiding me. Have I done something wrong? You're my only true friend. Everyone else only sees my face, but you know my heart." Ada's chest tightened. For a moment, she wanted to confess everything, the jealousy, the pain, the darkness growing inside her. But pride sealed her lips. "I'm fine, Amma," she lied. "Just tired." Amma hugged her tightly. "Promise me we'll always be sisters, no matter what." Ada hugged her back, but inside, the jealousy was winning. That night, she couldn't sleep. She tossed and turned, her mind racing. "Maybe just this once," she whispered to the darkness. "Maybe there's a way to be beautiful too. Would that be so wrong?" The next day, she overheard some girls talking about an old priestess who lived deep in the evil forest of Umweke village. They said the woman could change destinies, make poor people rich, make ugly people beautiful, and even make barren women give birth. Ada's heart pounded. "No," she told herself, "good girls don't go to such places." But the thought wouldn't leave her mind. For 3 days she fought with herself. On the 4th night, she made her decision. "Just this once," she whispered, "I'll go, get what I need, and never go back. God will forgive me." Before dawn, without telling anyone, Ada packed a small bag and set off toward the evil forest. The forest was dark and silent. Trees stood tall like giants, and strange birds cried from the branches. Ada's legs shook with every step, but her desire for beauty pushed her forward. She walked for hours until she saw smoke rising in the distance. An old woman sat beside a pot of fire, her hair white like cotton, eyes red like burning charcoal. She looked up slowly and smiled with teeth like broken stones. "Welcome, my daughter. I have been expecting you." Ada's blood ran cold. You know I was coming." "Ha ha ha! Yes, I know you are coming," she said. She stood and circled Ada like a vulture. "You want beauty. You want men to chase you. You want what your friend has." Ada knelt quickly. "Yes, great mother, please help me." She entered her shrine and came out with a small bottle of water and a black soap. "Take this," she said. "Every morning, drop only 1 drop of this water into your bath and wash with this soap. Do not pour all of it. I said only 1 drop. After 1 month, men will follow you like flies to honey." Ada's face brightened with joy. She knelt and thanked the woman again and again. Ada ran from the forest, the bottle clutched tightly in her hands, not fully understanding the weight of what she had just accepted. Ada returned home and started using the water exactly as instructed. 1 drop each morning. After 2 weeks, her skin started to glow. Her face became smooth like glass. Her eyes shone like stars. Even her hair grew softer and longer. When she walked through the village, people turned to stare. Boys gathered to watch her pass. Women whispered. Men started giving her gifts. One day, she went to visit Mmasinachi. When Ma opened the door, she gasped, "Ada, is this really you? You are shining like gold. What happened?" Ada laughed proudly. "Maybe the sun has been hiding my beauty all this while." Ma smiled, genuinely happy for her friend. "I'm so glad you're glowing again. I was worried about you." She hugged Ada tightly, but Ada barely hugged her back. The jealousy was gone, but something else had replaced it: pride. Days turned to weeks. Ada's beauty grew, and so did her arrogance. She began to walk with her head high, ignoring people who used to greet her. She stopped helping her mother with chores. "I'm too beautiful to carry firewood," she would say. Even Mma noticed the change. "Ada, you are different now," she said one evening. "You are beautiful outside, but something is missing inside." Ada rolled her eyes. "You are just jealous now that I'm more beautiful than you." Ma's eyes filled with tears. "Ada, that's not true. I love you. I just want my friend back." But Ada walked away, leaving Mma standing alone. 1 month passed. Ada looked at herself in the mirror and smiled. "I am so beautiful," she said, "but not beautiful enough. I want a rich man to come and marry me. If 1 drop can do this, imagine what the whole bottle can do. I will become more beautiful than the goddess herself." She remembered the priestess's warning, but pride had made her foolish. "That old woman just wanted to scare me," she told herself. "Nothing will happen." The next morning, Ada woke before the sun. Her room was still dark, but her heart was racing with excitement. She lit a small candle and took out the bottle of water, holding it up to the flickering light. "Today," she whispered to herself, smiling proudly. "Today I will become the most beautiful woman on earth. Not just in this village, in the whole world." Without another thought, she poured the entire bottle into her bath water. The water turned black, thick and oily. For a moment, fear gripped her heart. "Should I do this?" she whispered. But jealousy and pride pushed the fear away. She stepped into the water and bathed from head to toe, scrubbing every part of her body with the black soap. The water felt cold, then hot, then cold again. Her skin began to itch and burn, but she smiled through the pain. "This is normal," she told herself. When she finished bathing, she dried herself and put on her finest wrapper, the red and gold one she had been saving for a special occasion. She rubbed palm oil on her skin until it shone. She tied her headscarf high and proud. Then she looked at herself in the small mirror on her wall. "Perfect," she said, admiring herself. "Now let them see who the real beauty is." She stepped out of her house just as the sun was rising. The village was beginning to wake. Women were sweeping their compounds. Men were heading to their farms. Children were playing in the dust. Ada walked slowly, her head held high, waiting for the praise to begin. But instead of praise, she heard gasps. A woman carrying a basket of yams stopped and stared. Her mouth fell open. The basket slipped from her hands and crashed to the ground. "Jesus Christ!" the woman screamed. Ada smiled, thinking the woman was amazed by her beauty. But then another woman screamed, then another, then a man. "What is that thing?" someone shouted. "Is that Ada?" another voice cried. Children began to point and laugh. Monkey face, they sung, running away in fear and excitement. Ada's heart began to race. Why are they running? She asked herself. Why are they laughing? An old man she had known all her life looked at her and made the sign of the cross. "God forbid evil," he shouted, turning his back. Panic seized Ada's chest. She lifted her hands to touch her face and felt something wrong. Her nose felt longer. Her mouth felt wider. Her skin felt rough and hairy. "No," she whispered. "No, no, no." She ran back home, pushing through the crowd of people who had gathered to stare. She burst into her room and grabbed her mirror with shaking hands. When she saw her reflection, she screamed so loud the whole village heard. Her face had changed completely. Her beauty was gone, destroyed. Her mouth and nose had stretched forward like a monkey's snout. Her eyes bulged out of her head. Her skin was rough and covered with patches of dark hair. She looked like a creature from a nightmare, half human, half beast. Ada fell to the floor, the mirror shattering beside her. "What have I done?" she wailed, clawing at her face. "Oh God, what have I done to myself?" Her mother burst into the room. When she saw Ada's face, she screamed and fell against the wall. My daughter, what happened to you?" "I went to the evil forest, Mama," Ada cried. "I used the priestess's water. I poured it all. I didn't listen. Mama, help me." Her mother's face went pale with horror. She began to weep, rocking back and forth. "You went to the evil forest. Oh, Ada, what have you done? What have you done?" But there was no time for answers. Ada jumped to her feet, wrapped a cloth around her face, and ran back toward the evil forest, tears blinding her eyes, her heart breaking with every step. Ada ran through the forest like a wounded animal, branches tearing at her clothes, thorns cutting her feet. She didn't care. She had to reach the priestess. She had to fix this. Mama of the forest," she screamed as she ran. Please help me." When she finally reached the shrine, she collapsed at the entrance, gasping for breath. The old priestess came out slowly, as if she had been expecting this moment. "Why are you crying, my daughter?" the woman asked calmly, her red eyes glowing in the shadows. Ada tore the cloth from her face and fell to her knees. "Mother, look at me. Look at what has happened. Everyone is laughing at me. My own mother fainted when she saw me. Please, I beg you, turn me back. Give me my face again." The priestess looked at her without surprise, without pity. She shook her head slowly. "Did I not tell you to use only one drop each day?" she asked, her voice cold as stone.
"Yes, but did I not warn you that the spirits would come to collect their debts if you disobeyed?" "Yes, mother, but I didn't think—" "You didn't think," the priestess repeated it, her voice rising. "You thought you knew better than the spirits. You thought you could cheat the forest. You poured it all at once, like a greedy child who cannot wait for her food to cool." Ada threw herself at the woman's feet, grabbing her ankles. "Please, mother, Forgive me. I was foolish. I was proud. I didn't know it would be like this. Please, I will do anything." The priestess pulled her legs away and stepped back. "The spirit of beauty is angry. You have insulted her. You took her gift and abused it. There is nothing I can do now. What has been done cannot be undone."
"No!" Ada screamed, rolling on the ground, tearing at her hair. "There must be something, anything. I will pay. I will serve you. Just give me back my face." The old woman looked down at her with something almost like sadness. "Go home, child," she said quietly. "Learn to live with what you have become. Perhaps in time, you will understand that beauty was never your real problem." Ada crawled toward her one more time, but the priestess turned and disappeared into the shrine, the door closing with a heavy thud that echoed through the forest like a final judgment. Ada lay there in the dirt, weeping until she had no more tears. Then, slowly, she stood up, wrapped the cloth around her ruined face, and began the long walk home. When she returned to the village, the news had already spread like wildfire. People lined the paths, whispering and pointing. Some laughed, some looked away in disgust. Others made signs to ward off evil. "Monkey woman," they called her, "the cursed one." Children followed her at a distance, singing cruel songs. Ada, monkey face, God has put you in your place." Her own parents could barely look at her. Her father sat in silence, his head in his hands. Her mother cried every day, asking God why this had happened to their family. Ada stopped going outside. She locked herself in her room, refusing to eat, refusing to speak. Days turned to weeks. The beautiful girl who once walked proudly through the village had become a ghost. Hidden, ashamed, broken. Her beauty, which she had wanted so desperately, had become her curse.
Months passed slowly, like years. Ada lived in darkness, both inside her room and inside her heart. She had given up hope. She believed she would live and die as a monster, forgotten by everyone. Then one sunny afternoon, the sound of a car engine broke the village silence. People ran out of their houses. "Who is that?" they whispered, shading their eyes from the sun. A shiny white Mercedes-Benz rolled into the village, its chrome gleaming like silver. The car stopped in front of Ada's compound, and a tall, handsome man stepped out. He wore dark sunglasses, a crisp white shirt, and a gold wristwatch that caught the light. His shoes were polished like mirrors. An old woman gasped, Is that Kingsley?" It was. Kingsley, Ada's old lover, the boy who had left for America years ago with nothing but dreams and determination. Before he left, he had held Ada's hands and said, "When I make it in life, I'll come back for you. I will marry you, and we will build a beautiful life together." Ada had laughed then, not believing him. "Go and come back first," she had said. "Then we will see." Now he had returned, rich, successful, and ready to fulfill his promise. He walked toward the compound with a confident smile, calling out, "Ada, my love, where are you? I'm back." Ada's mother came out, her face streaked with tears. When she saw Kingsley, she began to cry even harder. "My son," she said, her voice breaking, "you have come back, but something has happened." Kingsley's smile faded. "What do you mean? Where is Ada?" "She's inside," her mother whispered, "but she doesn't want anyone to see her." Kingsley frowned and walked toward the house. "Ada," he called, "it's me, Kingsley. I told you I would come back." Inside her dark room,
Ada heard his voice and her heart shattered all over again. No, she whispered, not him, not now, not like this. But Kingsley pushed open the door and entered. The room was dark and smelled of sadness. In the corner, he saw a figure sitting on the floor, face covered with cloth. My love, he said gently, walking closer. Why are you hiding from me? I've traveled across the ocean to see you. Come, let me look at your beautiful face. Ada's whole body trembled. Kingsley, she said, her voice muffled by the cloth. You should not have come. Please, just go. Go? Kingsley laughed. I came all this way to marry you, and you are telling me to go? What kind of welcome is this? He reached out to pull the cloth away. No! Ada screamed, but it was too late. Kingsley pulled the cloth from her face. For a moment, time stopped. His hand froze in the air. His eyes went wide. His mouth opened, but no sound came out. Then he stumbled backward, his face twisted in shock and horror. Jesus Christ! He shouted. What happened to you? Ada burst into tears, covering her face with her hands. Kingsley, please, don't run. It's still me. It's still Ada. But Kingsley couldn't move. He stood there, trembling, his bag falling from his shoulder. Ada, he whispered. How did this happen? Through her tears, Ada whispered, It's a long story. They sat on the floor together, Ada with her face uncovered for the first time in months, and Kingsley trying to understand what he was seeing. Ada told him everything. She told him about the jealousy that had eaten her heart, about watching Mmasinachi receive all the praise while she stood invisible, about the evil forest and the priestess, about the bottle of water and the black soap, about the warning she ignored, about pouring it all at once because she wanted to be more beautiful than anyone else. And now, she finished, her voice barely a whisper, I am paying the price. Kingsley sat in silence for a long time, his head bowed. When he finally spoke, his voice was filled with pain. Ada, he said, I told you before I left that you are beautiful just the way you are. I told you that your beauty was in your smile, in your kindness, in the way you laughed. Why didn't you believe me? I was blind, Ada cried. I wanted what was not mine. I wanted to be someone else. And now I've lost everything. My face, my dignity, my future. And now I'm losing you too. Kingsley's jaw tightened. He looked at her ruined face, then looked away, then looked back again. Finally, he stood up and paced the small room. Let's go to the forest together, he said suddenly. Maybe she will have mercy if I beg with you. Maybe if I offer her money, gold, anything she wants. Ada's heart leapt with desperate hope. That evening, as the sun began to set, they traveled together to the evil forest. The journey was silent. Kingsley walked ahead, and Ada followed behind, her face covered once more. When they reached the shrine, the priestess was already standing outside, as if she had been waiting for them. The fire beside her crackled and sent shadows dancing across her ancient face. Looking at Kingsley with her red eyes, Kingsley stepped forward and knelt beside Ada. Please, great mother, he said, his voice strong despite his fear. Forgive her. She has learned her lesson. She is suffering every day. I am ready to pay any price. Money, land, gold, whatever you want. Just give her back her face. The priestess stared into the fire for a long time, so long that Ada thought she would not answer. The flames crackled. An owl hooted in the distance. The forest seemed to hold its breath. Finally, the old woman spoke, her voice slow and deliberate. The spirit of beauty is very angry. She does not forgive easily. This girl took her gift and threw it away like garbage. She disobeyed the sacred law. Please, Ada begged, prostrating herself flat on the ground. I will do anything. I will serve you.
The priestess raised her hand for silence. Because you have come with love, she said, looking at Kingsley, and because true love is rare in this world, I will show small mercy. Ada's heart began to race. Thank you, mother, thank you. Wait, the priestess said sharply. Listen carefully. Ada will regain her true face, but not now. She must live for 10 years exactly as she is now. 10 years of shame, 10 years of pain, 10 years of repentance and humility. Only then, when she has learned the true meaning of beauty, will her face return. Ada's hope crashed like a falling tree. 10 years? She cried. Mother, that is too long. I am still young. 10 years would destroy my life. 10 years, the priestess repeated coldly. Or forever. Choose. Ada fell flat on the ground, weeping uncontrollably. Please, mother, 5 years, 3 years, anything but 10. But the priestess turned her back. The spirits have spoken. Go home now. Your time begins today. She walked into her shrine and the door closed with a sound like thunder.
Kingsley helped Ada to her feet. Her whole body shook with sobs. Let's go home, he said quietly, his voice heavy with sadness. As they walked back through the dark forest, Ada clung to his arm. Thank you, she whispered. Thank you for trying. At least I have hope now. In 10 years, I will be myself again. And then we can be together. Kingsley said nothing, but in the darkness, his face was troubled, and his steps were slow.
The first few weeks after their return, Kingsley stayed true to his word. He brought Ada food, rice, yams, fish, fruits. He brought her medicine for her skin. He sat with her in her dark room and told her stories about America to make her laugh. Just 10 years, he would say. It will pass quickly. Then everything will be fine. Ada believed him. She held on to those words like a drowning person holds on to a rope. But as days turned into weeks and weeks turned into months, things began to change. The village people started to gossip. Why is that rich man wasting his time with monkey woman? They whispered. He should find a proper wife. Kingsley's friends from the city came to visit him. When they saw Ada, they laughed and mocked him behind his back. You left America for this, they said. Brother, you can do better. Slowly, Kingsley's visits became shorter. He came less often. When he did come, he seemed distracted, always checking his watch, always in a hurry to leave. Then one morning, 6 months after his return, Kingsley came to Ada's house earlier than usual. His face was serious. He wouldn't look her in the eyes. Ada, he said quietly, sitting far from her. I need to talk to you.
Ada's heart began to pound. She knew what was coming. What is it? She whispered. Kingsley took a deep breath. I'm sorry, he said. I can't do this. I can't wait 10 years. I'm still young. I have my life to live. I need to move on. The words hit Ada like stones. Kingsley, please, she begged, reaching for his hand. You promised. You said you would wait. It's only 10 years. I will be beautiful again. We can still have our life together. He pulled his hand away. 10 years is too long, Ada. I'm sorry. I really tried, but I can't. Please. Ada fell to her knees. Don't leave me. You're all I have left. Without you, I have nothing. But Kingsley stood up, his face hard. I'm sorry, he said again, and then he walked out. Ada heard his car start, she heard it drive away, and she knew, deep in her soul, that he would never come back. She was right. 2 months later, Ada heard the news that shattered what was left of her heart.
Kingsley had married another woman, a beautiful, tall, light-skinned woman from Lagos. They had a big wedding in the city with hundreds of guests. When Ada heard this, she cried until her eyes were swollen shut. She cried until she had no more tears. She cried until she couldn't breathe. "I have lost everything," she whispered to the darkness. "Everything." But then, one quiet afternoon, there was a knock on her door. "Ada, it's me, Mmasinachi." Ada's heart clenched. "Go away, Ma," she said. "I don't want you to see me like this."
But Ma pushed the door open anyway and entered. When she saw her old friend sitting in the corner, thin and broken, her heart broke too. "Oh, Ada," Ma whispered, tears filling her eyes. She rushed forward and wrapped her arms around her friend. "I heard what happened. I heard everything. I'm so sorry." Ada tried to push her away. "Don't touch me. I'm cursed. I'm ugly. Everyone hates me." "I don't hate you," Ma said firmly, holding her tighter. "You made a mistake, but life is not over. You are still my sister. You are still Ada, and I will be here for you." From that day forward, Mmasinachi came to visit Ada every week. She brought food. She helped her fetch water. She washed her clothes. She sat with her in the darkness and talked to her about everything and nothing. Years rolled by slowly, like a heavy stone being pushed up a hill. Mmasinachi got married to a kind, wealthy businessman who treated her with love and respect. They had 3 beautiful children and built a big house in the city. But Ma never forgot Ada. She came back to the village regularly, always bringing gifts, always bringing hope. Ada watched her friend's life bloom from afar, but this time there was no jealousy in her heart, only regret. And slowly, something else, gratitude. She began to change inside. She prayed every morning and every night, asking God for forgiveness. "I was so foolish," she would say. "I had everything I needed, but I couldn't see it." The 10 years crawled by, each day a lesson, each month a test, each year a transformation. Finally, on the morning of the 10th year, Ada woke up and felt something different. Her skin felt softer. Her face felt lighter. With trembling hands, she walked to the mirror, the same mirror she had broken 10 years ago, now repaired with careful hands. She looked at her reflection and gasped. Her face had returned. Not the artificial beauty from the priestess's water, but her own face, the face she was born with. She touched her cheeks and whispered, "Thank you, God. Thank you." She looked at herself for a long time, then said softly, "Beauty without contentment is a curse. I have learnt my lesson." From that day forward, Ada became a different woman. She used her story to help other young girls who struggled with jealousy and low self-esteem. True beauty is not in the face, but in the heart. I learned this the hard way. Don't make my mistake. People began to respect her again, not for her face, but for her wisdom, her kindness, her transformed heart. Mmasinachi came to visit her, and when she saw Ada's face restored, she wept with joy. "Welcome back, my sister," she said, embracing her. "I never left," Ada said, smiling. "I was just learning to see clearly." Moral of the story: jealousy destroys faster than fire. Be happy with what you have. Comparing yourself to others will only bring pain. True beauty is not in the face, but in the heart. Outer beauty fades, but inner beauty lasts forever. Pride goes before a fall,
Stay humble and grateful. Arrogance blinds us to danger. Contentment is the greatest gift. Learn to appreciate what God has given you. Chasing what others have will lead you astray. Thank you for watching. If you loved this story, please subscribe, like, and share, and also comment your opinion. See you again. Bye.